Welcome to Founders Future, a podcast powered by Closers.io, where we dive into the journeys of innovative entrepreneurs and explore the road ahead for them and their companies. I'm your host, Zach Young, and in each episode, we uncover the stories behind impactful ventures, the challenges faced along the way, and strategies driving their future growth. Today, we're joined by Danielle Serpico, a high-performance subconscious reprogramming expert who works with high achievers, entrepreneurs, coaches, and leaders to remove the invisible blocks holding them back. Danielle helps clients rewire the subconscious drivers behind self-doubt, perfectionism, burnout, and self-sabotage using advanced tools like NLP, hypnosis, and identity visualization. Danielle, a very warm welcome to Founders Future.
Delighted to be here with you, Zach.
Absolutely. I appreciate you coming on. It's going to be a great episode. We have a lot to dive into. Before we do, I do like to start with your background, though. So before getting into the work you're doing now, NLP, hypnosis, can you walk us through what were you doing previously and what was truly your inspiration for getting into this space?
Okay, that's a big question. Okay, I'll attempt to give this in a short enough of an answer. So I'm half Irish, half Italian, just to give you a little bit of background. And I grew up in Rome and then moved back to Ireland around 10 when my parents split up. And at a very early age, I decided I was going to be entrepreneurial and take care of myself and look after myself financially, because I didn't really get that with my parents. So at 19, I'd opened my first restaurant, and fast forward 16, 17 years, by 36, I had 3 restaurants and a gift shop. Everything was going great, wonderfully. I was also, by the way, in that time, I'd also taken up martial arts, funnily enough, to de-stress from work and to take my mind off things, and I'd become a black belt. And I really enjoyed that journey as well. And the short version of the story is, in 2009, you may have heard of the crash of the Celtic Tiger, and I ended up, my businesses started to collapse like domino, and everything collapsed in the space of a year or so, 18 months or so. I had lost everything. And in June 2009, I closed the doors on my last restaurant. I went home. I nearly took my life. Thankfully, I didn't. And as I said, I'm abbreviating this, so it sounds a little bit matter of fact, but it isn't. It was a big deal at the time. And I remembered my favorite quote, which was, "A black belt is simply a white belt who never give up." And I decided to give life another shot. And I decided most of all to become a black belt in here, in my head, in my heart, rather than something you just tie around your waist. And I went on a journey of self-discovery, of self-development, and it led me, and looking back, I believe that there's no coincidences. Everything fell into place. The first book I picked up was The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle, and it taught me how to be present in the moment. The second book was Viktor Frankl, Man's Search for Meaning, which taught me how that if we're not thinking about the past, we're not thinking about the future, we have a choice in how we choose to think. And the third book I picked up was a book by Paul McKenna, who's a well-known, especially in Ireland and the UK, but worldwide, he's well known as a hypnotist. And I started to read his book, and it started to help me in how I thought about my thoughts. And I then found out that he had been taught by a guy called Richard Bandler. And Richard Bandler is the co-creator of NLP, Neuro-Linguistic Programming. So I read his book. So the long and the short of it is, those 4 books in that order were the books that I read. And that led me to going and studying with Richard Bandler to help myself, to change my mindset, to save my life, basically. And it did. And it changed everything. And that's how I got into this whole different world.
Quite the journey, as most entrepreneurs' journeys are. Absolutely. But I think that leads us very well into the present day. Can you tell us today, what does working with Danielle look like? Who are you typically working with? Everything like that.
So I work with everybody. I work with everybody, as I say, that communicates either with themselves or with others, because I believe we all have to speak to ourselves or somebody else. And anyone who wants to really expand, open up, as people who are open to learning, people who are open to growth, people that want to learn how to lead themselves first, to remove the facade, to remove the fakeness, the front, especially in this day and age, particularly at the moment. I've seen so much of it right now. And to really learn how to have self sovereignty. It's all back to people who want to really master having self sovereignty, learning the difference. I think this is the key to success between responding and reacting. And when we have emotional intelligence and we know how to respond, then we can be successful in any and every area of our life.
Got it. Okay. So it sounds very applicable to just about everybody, right? We're not talking about one niche. This is just about every human on the planet.
It's every human, really. I know a niching in the coaching business is meant to be a good thing, but to be honest, I find I work with people from doctors to to housewives to mums to entrepreneurs, business people, sales
Mm.
people. A lot of what I teach, a lot of what I do, I teach NLP now. I'm one of Richard Bender's trainers, so I certify people in NLP. I do work with a lot of coaches, a lot of practitioners, a lot of well-being practitioners, a lot of entrepreneurs. I suppose I've always been entrepreneurial. I've always worked for myself. So I suppose probably attract more entrepreneurs, except for really it's for anyone who wants to improve their communication in their life.
Mm. Absolutely. Absolutely. So I'm curious, how do you structure your work with these individuals? Is it a set amount of one-on-ones, some group coaching? Walk us through that process.
So I basically would have a number of different services, depending where people are at in their journey, in their life, what they want, need at that particular moment. So anything from doing one-to-one sessions with me, I do something that's called a walk the talk, where they can come on a beautiful walk with me in Ireland here in Glendalough. And we spend a day together, and I do a lot of subliminal coaching. A lot of this is subconscious while we walk and talk. And then I do a more expansive version of that in Rome, where they come for 3 days to Rome with me and we work one to one together. And again, we walk and talk in a very beautiful setting. I believe setting our environment shapes us. We know this. So I believe when we take ourselves away into an experience where we are submerged, I believe the subconscious, we can affect the subconscious much more effectively. So I really believe in the power of that and taking somebody out of their typical environment and submerging them. And when we distract the conscious mind with beauty, with fun, with all of this, people let go, and then they really allow the stuff in. So I can do my work much more powerfully when I take them away. So I
Mm.
love doing it in Glendalough. I love doing it in Rome. I do NLP trainings in Italy every year, in Tuscany. But I also have an online academy, the Black Belt Mastermind Academy, where I work with people for a whole year if they want to be mentored by me, and we can do it
Mm.
that way as well.
Got it. It's a lot of different offerings, but I like the walking aspect. Like you mentioned, there is a lot of proof now, scientific data, being outside a new environment. That's a big one. Walking, our best thoughts to us come when we're walking. Absolutely. I love that that's brought into the coaching program. So we talked about niching down, right? You're working with everybody. So that makes me very curious when it comes to marketing. How are your clients currently finding you to work with you?
Things change over the years, and especially with marketing and online, and obviously we have to adapt and change with the times. Like I've been in it, I suppose I would consider myself nearly long in the tooth in this. I've been doing this for 15 years. I've been coaching. When I first started coaching, I was doing in-person events every week. I would hire a room in a hotel and I would put on a talk, and sometimes I might get 5 people in the room, sometimes I might get 50. And I did that every week, pre-COVID, pre the online boom. And that's how I would market myself. When COVID came, it gave me a bit of a fright because I was very concerned because everything I had done had been in person up to that point. And I was thinking, oh no, here, I'm not going to lose everything again. Go bust again. So I decided I'm going to do everything that I've done offline. I'm going to do the same thing online. And I did that. And it worked very well for me. Obviously, in COVID, it probably worked well for a lot of people because everybody was online. So I have noticed in the last year or two, people are more discerning, people are more careful because everybody and their mother became a coach in COVID. And there's a lot of falseness out there, and it's difficult to differentiate who is real. So
Mm.
thankfully, I'm a black belt And I believe, and this is what I talk about and this is what I teach, I believe in really leading by example, and I really lead by my principles and my values. So I've never lied about what I've done, what I've achieved, what I've made, etc. And I believe in being real and true. And I believe people that like that and are attracted to that, and maybe a deeper sort of clientele, not somebody who wants, maybe instead of saying I'm for everybody, maybe I'm not for everybody. Maybe I'm not for the people that want a quick fix, the people that are so desperate to want to make money now. And I get it, I understand it, because I've been broke. I understand that desperation. However, if we come at it from just I want the strategy, most of the time it doesn't work. I believe the key to success is the foundations inside, and the strategy, I believe, is a small part of it. I'm not saying it's not an important part, but I do think it's an important part. We have to have all the pieces of the pie to make the pie. But I believe that if you don't have the foundations, you won't achieve success in whatever you're doing. I suppose nowadays, for me, it's about leading with values, and I'm hoping, I'm trusting that will attract the right type of buyer and the right type of client for me.
Human connection, authenticity, honesty. In my opinion, that's what's going to set apart people over the next couple of years. AI generated content, things like that. We all see it and we can all notice it. And versus then we compare that to someone being authentic and honest.
Yeah.
We'll take that all day. So I love that mindset. I'm curious, how are you currently utilizing social media for the business?
And when I first started online in COVID, I hated social media, but very quickly I actually grew to love it. For me, because as I said, I've been in business all my life. I opened my first restaurant when I was 19, and I remember at 19 years of age paying a fortune for being on radio, for being on the newspaper. Oh my God, doing flyers. I went around every house in my neighborhood, in my town, passing out flyers, paying for flyers consistently. And then when I looked at going on social media, and when I took that approach, that mentality, I realized, hang on a second, I get to do all this for free. I can get to promote myself for free. So I love social media in that aspect. I think it's obviously a phenomenal advertising platform. So I think I love social media for that. There's a lot to love. There's a few things to hate. Things that it's getting difficult now to understand again, as we said, what's real. But I use social media, of course, a lot. You'll find me on most platforms. And I suppose it's now about, if I have the time to get on it and utilize it, it's about letting people know who I really am online, and attempting to be as real as I possibly can online, so they can see the real me. And then if they like that, what they see, then they know where to come.
Yeah. Which platform is your favorite and why?
Probably because of my age. I'm 52. I think, I could be wrong, I'm not a social media expert, although I have utilized it reasonably well over the past 5 or 6 years. I think that my favorite so far, up to now, up to recently, has been Facebook, because I believe that my demographic, they say we know we attract like attracts like. So I suppose I would have a lot of, not all, I would have a lot of women that are in my age bracket, maybe looking to find themselves again, restart again, rediscover themselves again, that kind of thing. So I find a lot of them are there on Facebook because of our generation. Instagram, I'm pulled more towards now, because I do believe that is growing. I think that's better. I'm moving more towards Instagram, and I would really like to embrace TikTok.
Man.
I've attempted it a few times badly. I do think TikTok is probably a great business place as well, but I haven't quite got into it as much. There's a part of me that keeps saying I will. And then obviously LinkedIn for corporate, for trainings. LinkedIn is good for business too. But I suppose my main platforms are Facebook and Instagram at the moment.
Yeah, that makes sense. Meta is business friendly. That's for sure. So you've been doing this for about 10 years now. Do you have, go ahead. Was I right there? 10 years?
15.
Oh, 15, excuse me. 15 years, good amount of time. Do you have a team working with you at all, or are you a one-woman show?
Yeah, it's probably one of my problems is letting go control. And so I'm fairly much a one woman team. I do have a couple of people that help me, and I do have a marketing somebody that helps me a little bit with my marketing, and like we could say my right hand woman. And then I would have the odd time I would have VAs and people like that. So I would get a little bit of help, but it would be a small team. Yeah.
Got it. Hey, you're the conductor at the end of the day, right? You
I
make the
probably
engine
need to
go.
let go more and grow to grow and scale. I've got to let go more. Yes, 100%.
Very fair point. 2026 is slowly but also very quickly approaching us. I'm curious if you have any goals for 2026 for the business that you're looking to achieve next year.
To grow and expand. To grow
Best
it,
goals to have?
yeah, to grow it, expand it. I suppose actually to reach more people in the States. That would be a big goal of mine for 2026. I spent 2025 focusing on the UK. I'm in Ireland mainly. 2025 is UK. I think 2026 is I'd love to reach more people in America and a little bit further afield. So that's one of my goals, grow my business, get people to know the Blackburn Mastermind a bit better. Yeah, and keep going.
It's a great market to be. We like to spend money in the US, so it's a good spot to be. Great goals to have. Danielle, we talked about social media a little bit. Where can the listeners find you? Where can they connect with you online?
Danielle Serpico, very easy. There's not too many with my name. Instagram, Facebook, theblackbeltmastermind.com, my website, fairly easy to find.
Perfect. Danielle, thanks for making it easy on us. And I appreciate your time today. It was a pleasure having you on.
Thank you.
Absolutely. And that will wrap up another inspiring episode of The Founder's Future. To our listeners, if you enjoyed this episode, make sure to go and connect with Danielle on all of her social media and website. All those links will be in the show notes and description down below. And if you are a business owner, specifically a coach, consultant, or agency owner, and you're looking to scale your business, and you really want to enhance your sales and marketing efforts, visit closers.io to hop on a call with our team and discover how we went from 0 to 30 million per year in less than 3 years. Until then, keep on climbing.